Hey guys, it's Karhus here. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm a Challenger Karthus jungle slash bot one trick who's been Challenger on Karthus for over 4 years now. I've peaked rank 5, 1647 LP on the North American ladder, so if you want to learn how to play Karthus jungle like a Challenger player, this guide is for you. In this video, we'll be talking about everything, such as the pros and cons for Karthus, what runes to take, the build, how to play early game, mid game, and late game, and even more bonus tips, so make sure to stay around for the full video. Let's talk about the pros and cons of picking Karthus jungle. So the pros are that he deals insane amount of damage, he has arguably one of the strongest ults in the entire game, he scales very well, great in team fighting, and he can be useful even with a high amount of deaths. The cons of picking Karthus jungle is that he's really weak early game and he requires a lot of gold for that reason. He has no hard CC, no mobility, and he's a very slow champion. He's also very super mana dependent and he's not tanky at all, he's very squishy. And also he's really weak into split pushers, so if the enemy top laner is split pushing, there's not much Karthus can really do about it. So let's talk about Karthus runes. So the two runes you go in the jungle are either Dark Harvest or First Strike. Dark Harvest is really good when you're fighting a lot early game, and it can help you snowball and pick up kills. First Strike is really good when you're playing to farm and scale, and just having all that free gold from your runes is really nice to get your item spikes early game. If you were to ask me which runes I usually go First Strike in higher elo games. The reason being is that I like to get my items really fast. With First Strike you get cashback, so if you have cashback with the First Strike you're just generating a lot of gold, and it just feels really nice to get your Rabadons at like 25 minutes into the game instead of going for a 30-minute Rabadons. So that's why I like First Strike. I don't mind going Dark Harvest and just fighting a lot, so at the end of the day I think both runes are fine, it's just whatever you prefer. I think you can climb in high elo with either rune, so it doesn't matter exactly which runes you take as long as you either take Dark Harvest or First Strike. So the reason I go Jack of all trades instead of Cosmic Insight is that I like to get the free bonus 5 haste and then the 10 AP. Usually you can't stack the entire Jack of all trades to the 25 AP and the 10 haste unless you're like kind of trolling your build. So unfortunately you can't do that, but I do like to get Jack of all trades just for that. I don't like Cosmic that much. I don't think it's that needed on Karthus. I guess the smites early game would be useful, but in terms of just having the smite, your clear is really fast anyways. So honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Cosmic Insight on Karthus, but I think both work just as well. And in terms of Dark Harvest, I'm going Triumph instead of Presence of Mind because you actually don't need the mana with Presence of Mind in the jungle because you regen already with your jungle item. And I like to take Triumph because you get a lot of gold. At the end of the game, you can actually get like 300 or 400 gold just from takedowns off Triumph. So this season, Riot released the rune Axiom Arcanist. It's been nerfed a little bit, but it's still good overall. I wouldn't recommend going Axiom Arcanist with Dark Harvest. I think that since you already have Ultimate Hunter, I think Last Stand is too good not to have. So if you're just going Dark Harvest with Ultimate Hunter and Axiom Arcanist, I feel like it's just too much like wasted on your R when you can just go Last Stand, and Last Stand just does more damage with your R. You're getting bonus Last Stand damage with your Q, your E, and your R. But if you're just going Axiom Arcanist, it only benefits your R, right? So with First Strike, I go Axiom Arcanist because the secondary tree, I would have went Eyeball Collection and Ultimate Hunter, but Eyeball Collection is removed from the game, so that's the reason why I go Axiom Arcanist second with Gathering Storm. In terms of summoner spells, I know a lot of people go Exhaust in the jungle, but honestly, in my opinion, I think it's kind of a waste. I think Flash is too good not to have. You can honestly win 1v1s with Karthus with Flash. You don't need Exhaust exactly to win the 1v1s. Flash is just really nice to be able to just flash out in fights, or even flash in to try to damage the enemy team. You can flash in to steal objectives, and if you go Exhaust, I feel like you just get cheesed even more since you get like level 1 invaded because like they just all flash on you, and you just die. So honestly, if you're gonna ask me, I would not take Exhaust, I would just go Flash on Karthus jungle. If you want to steal Baron on Karthus, what you want to do is Q Flash Smite. By queuing first, getting the isolated Q on Baron, and then flash smiting it, they will never expect your damage, and it's a great way to steal Baron. So let's talk about the build now. The first item is always going to be Blackfire Torch. I don't buy Malignance on Karthus, and I actually think it's a waste of gold. Malignance doesn't help with your Qs, it doesn't help with your E, it only helps with your R. Blackfire Torch not only helps you clear, it helps with your Q, your E, and your R. Since Malignance doesn't have Faded Ashes, your clear isn't actually faster with Malignance, so honestly just buying that item is like a waste of gold on Karthus. So go Blackfire Torch first item. Second item, it's either Shadow Flame or Leandry's. Shadow Flame is good when the enemy team isn't buying much health, and they're like range champions, so they're not going to really be in Leandry's range, right? So if they're really squishy comp and you're solo AP, I would say go Shadow Flame because the flat pen is really nice. It gives a lot of AP. Leandry's second is good when the enemy team have a lot of melee bruisers or even tanks, and they're all in your face. So that's when you should go Leandry's. Shadow Flame second is very underrated. So if the enemy team doesn't really have that many tanks and they're all squishy, just go Shadow Flame second. The third item should be Rabadon's. Having the Rabadon spike is super powerful on Karthus. You do a lot of damage. After Rabadon's, you can usually get a Void Staff. If you don't need a Void Staff, you can get a Zonya's. Morello is okay if you're gonna buy Morello's. If you need to buy heal cutting on Karthus, just buy an orb and then sit on it until like you're full build, and then you upgrade your Morello or your orb to your Morello's. You don't need to buy the full Morello's. Rylai's, I don't really usually buy it on Karthus unless they're like super heavy melees. It's pretty good into like Hecarim because he gets slowed a lot and can't do that much damage, but Rylai's is not always a good item to buy on Karthus since it's like kind of weak, doesn't give you that much AP, but Zon is usually always solid. I think Horizon Focus is a super underrated item on Karthus. It gives you a lot of AP and a lot of haste for how cheap it is. So if you do have an extra inventory in your items, you don't know what to buy, you can even sell your boots for Horizon Focus if you like. It's not that bad of a buy. I'd say like 5th or 6th item, or just even selling your boots for it. In terms of bad matchups, Karthus struggles into junglers that can invade early, like Kindred, Kayn, Bel'Veth, because they kind of just kill you in your jungle. There's not much you can do about it. You can't really fight back. So anyone that can do cheese invades, Karthus struggles really hard into. Just remember, if you ever get invaded as Karthus jungle, the best thing to do is to not die. If you lose a camp or two, it's fine. You outscale the enemy jungler. But if you give them a kill lead, they will snowball more and more off those kills, more than losing 1 or 2 camps. So what you want to do is just don't die to the enemy jungler, and it will be okay. The most important thing of Karthus jungle is how to clear properly. I'll post my clear video in the description for you guys to check out, but if you don't know how to properly clear on Karthus, you're gonna have a really hard time playing him. So obviously to get better on Karthus jungle, you just gotta learn how to clear properly by just playing, or just watch my clear video and it'll definitely help you in terms of knowing how to clear properly, when to auto attack, when to Q or turn on your E on and off. Just things like that can help you improve a lot as a jungler. Over the past few months, Karthus Q has been nerfed a few times ever since the release of Blackfire Torch. On release, Blackfire Torch was really broken on Karthus. Your clear was insane, you were doing so much damage, but they did nerf Karthus Q about like 2 or 3 times. So now what I do is I rush Faded Ashes, because since your clear isn't that fast anymore because your Q isn't doing as much damage, Faded Ashes helps you a lot in terms of clearing to help you with your tempo. So my priority is I always rush Faded Ashes, and then I get the Blackfire Torch. And then I go for my items after that. But my priority is the first or second base, I'll have Faded Ashes. After you do your full clear, there's 3 things you can do. Well, the first thing you can do is after doing a full clear, you can base and then walk to the opposite side of the crab and then get to crab before the crab even spawns. If you do a proper clear, you can do that. Another thing you can do is after you do a full clear, you can actually look to invade. If you have prio laners, you can get to the enemy jungle and invade them since you're clearing really fast and the enemy jungler most likely won't be clearing that fast. And you can invade them, you can smite their camps if you're fast enough, or you can even kill them. And the third option obviously is after you do a full clear, you just look to gank. Once you gank, and if you get a kill or you even just get crab and then base, what you can do is just straight up you have 900 gold, so you can straight up just get Faded Ashes then. Your mid game objective is to shadow your laners and play for objectives. Shadowing your laners means when they're playing on a side lane, you can shadow them behind them, just stay in the bush, just wait for them to make a play, and you just help your laners when they're split pushing. Or if you don't need to do that, you can just clear and press R for them if they can win 1v2 with your R, that's great, but you just want to be shadowing them or just playing around them, or you just play for objectives, such as Dragon, Herald, Grubs, or even just like Otacon. If you just want to play for objectives with your team, just make sure you're clearing really fast and then play for those objectives. Now when it comes about how to hit Qs, obviously there isn't a simple answer to that, it's just practice. But what I would say is that you want to Q exactly where you think that they're going to be moving on the map. If they're a melee champion, what you can do is just Q on top of yourself, or you just Q where you think that they can only auto attack you. So if they're auto attacking you and you Q where they're auto attacking you, they will either dodge your Q and not hit you, or they'll get hit by your Q while hitting you. So that's like the only tip I can give in terms of landing your Qs. Obviously, if you have someone that can CC them, it makes it way easier. You should just play around them. But at the end of the day, it's all just practice and skill. If you're worried that the enemy jungler is going to invade you, a quick tip that I can give is to make sure you're always warding level 1. You can always ward the entrance on your jungle on both sides, or make one of your teammates ward it, just so if you do end up getting invaded, you'll have vision on it. So in this game, for example, I'm playing Karthus jungle into Bel'Veth. I got a ward off here, you can see where I warded, and I asked my laners to ward my opposite side of the map. So you see here on the map that you see Bel'Veth invading me. My teammates luckily were able to rotate. Even if they didn't end up rotating, I still would have played it like this. But since they rotated, they actually end up killing the Bel'Veth here, you can see. My ball lane just runs her down. She just dies. I have a ward where I'm standing, and then I have a ward on the opposite side because I asked my teammates. So that guy dies. So what I do is I go for my blue buff and then I run straight to his raptors. I take his raptors and I do a proper full clear afterwards. By me taking his raptors, what I do is that once I take his raptor camp, I'm gonna do a full clear, I'm gonna base, and I'm gonna play for his raptors over and over again. So as you can see from right here, I did a full clear base, I got my faded ashes, and then I'm just gonna go straight to his raptors again. You see the raptors are spawning in 4 seconds. I did a proper full clear. And then I just take the raptors again. After I do the raptors, I can just take the crab here since I never took it. And I'll just do a full clear again. Super easy, nothing crazy about it. So now I just have a timer and my camps respawn again. And just like that, I'm just taking her grubs over, her raptors over and over. And you can just keep doing this as much as you want if you have the tempo. That is what you should do if the enemy jungle starts your bot side, or they just try to cheese you and then they die. But you can even do this strategy if the enemy jungler starts raptors. You can just do a full clear base and then run straight to the raptor camp, because you'll have an item advantage and you'll be able to win the 1v1. Another tip, if you guys didn't know, is that you can actually do grubs over the wall. I'll show you how to do it here. You can also do herald over the wall. Now herald over the wall, it might be a little troll because if they have vision on you, they can easily contest you and just steal it. You actually can hit the eye over the wall, but it is a cool technique you can do. If you can't exactly get herald and you know that they don't have vision, you can just do it over the wall like this. When you're gonna gank on Karthus early game, what you want to do is actually hold your W instead of using it early, and just wait for the enemy to flash, and then you use your W to secure a free kill with your slow. A cool trick you can do on Karthus is that you can actually do Krugs over the wall, just like you can see right here, so where you don't really have to walk into the camp if you're invading, say your blue side, and you want to just invade the enemy jungler, you can just do Krugs over the wall exactly just like this. This is a really nice Krug tech you can do as well. You pretty much bug out the Krug to where the small Krug is in front of the big Krug. And then it's just really nice to do this because after you do a full clear, you're pretty much full health and you don't have to buy HP pot. So after you do your full clear, you can look to invade or just gank afterwards while being full HP. By doing the Krugs bug, sometimes you can actually end up surviving or even getting a kill if you do get invaded. Like example, this Kayn invaded me, and if I didn't do the Krugs bug here, I probably would have died, but since I did it, I ended up killing him and living. If you're gonna ult while farming, what you want to do is have your Eon for your Blackfire Torch on a camp, just so you get the bonus AP, and then you press R, because that little AP can actually make a difference when you're pressing R to get a kill. So I know it's hard to play Karthus jungle and to farm while looking at around the map to press R if you have to. So what I do is I actually have F keys. I have the F keys set up on my mouse. You can have it on your keyboard or your mouse, but just anywhere that makes it easy for you to where you can just see the POV of your teammates while full clearing on Karthus. Because if you're clicking back and forth while looking on the map while trying to see if you need to press R or not, I know it's a little difficult, but if you just have F keys, it's really good on Karthus because it just shows that you can see their POV and it's really easy to just clear while using your F keys. Alright guys, if this guide was helpful at all, please leave a like and drop a comment if you have any questions. If you want more guides in the future, I'll be planning to do more educational videos of Karthus, so be sure to click that sub button. Thanks for watching and have a great day.